Okay. Musa and the second guy, Mr. iPhone. Mr. iPhone, what's your name?
My name is
Musa and Isa. Guys, nice to meet you. My name is Qasim, actually Abdul Qasim, but you can just call me Mr. Qasim, Teacher Qasim, whatever you like. Musa and Isa, can you hear me well? How is my voice? Is it clear or not clear?
Yes.
clear. It's clear.
Okay, very good. So now you are studying in grade 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you also study at private school or government public school?
Government.
Public school.
Yes, I'm public school too.
Okay, good. So in your school, all your classes are in English or mixed?
Mm, Mixed.
Mixed. So some classes are in English, some classes are in your, or is it
Yeah.
in different language like Azari and Russian? Okay, guys. Uh, we have one more student. Maybe she will join soon because she was traveling today, and she told me that she will try, but we are not sure. So we were talking about direct and inverse proportion. Is it recording? Okay, it's recording. All right. Direct and inverse proportion. Actually, in our last class, we talked about the direct proportion, but today we are supposed to talk about inverse proportion. Uh, Isa, Musa, let me ask Musa one by one. Do you have any idea about this proportion stuff? When you just say, for example, direct proportion, what do you understand? Or can you give me
Mm,
some examples for direct proportion?
No, I don't remember.
Isa, how about you?
Uh, I don't understand.
Okay.
I know. Direct proportion. Proportion is like yeah. Um, is like um uh, one um, one book is cost 1 minute. X cost 10 minutes. How many books is it? Like this?
Okay. It is something like this, right? Very good. Actually, the general equation of direct proportion is, it is this: y is equal to k times x. Or in different way, I can just write it as like this: y over x is equal to k. And here, k is a constant number. And this y and x, these are two different variables, right? And this y and x, as I said, it may be the number of books. For example, let's say this y, let's say it may be the cost of the books. This x, it may be the number of the books. For example, let's say if you go to the shop and let's say you are going to buy math book. One math book costs $10, right? So that means I can just make a table uh, about direct proportion. And here, let's say this one is number of books, and this one is the cost, price of the books. So if you buy one book, let's say it is $10. So that means if you buy two books, then you have to pay $20. And if you buy three books, for example, you have to pay $30, right?
$14.
So what does it mean? As you see, if you take the ratios here, 10 over 1 is equal to 20 over 2 is equal to 30 over 3, dot, dot. Actually, all these ratios are equal, right? And this ratio, let's say that's equal to k. So here we have, this one is, I'm kind of, let's say it is x, and this one is y. Here we have two actually variables. They are changing at the same rate, right? If one increases, also the second one increasing at the same rate. Then we say that x and y are directly proportional to each other. Why? Because their ratios are equal. That's why in general, if you just write this y over x, that's constant always. So that's why it's equal to k. From this, I will get this equation, k times x. So now today we will talk about inverse proportion. And how about the inverse proportion? Now in examples, you will see that this is similar one, but a little bit different. But in inverse, when one variable increases, if another variable decreases at the same rate, then we say that two variables are, let's say we are talking about, here we have x and here we have y, right? And here we have a bunch of numbers here, a bunch of values for y here, and somehow they are related to each other by some kind of equation, okay? And if one x increases and this one decreases at the same rate, what does it mean? It means that let me just give one example for this. Here we have a distance from town A to town B, for example. And the distance between these two towns, let's say this 240 kilometers. Okay. And traveling from A to B, we have a lot of different options, right? You may walk or you may take a taxi. You can go by train. You can actually go by plane. A lot of different options. And what is the distance formula here? So actually, in general, our distance is equal to speed times time, right? And here we have speed and time. These two things, actually, they are inversely proportional to each other. Why? Because if you travel at higher speed, you can reach town B in a shorter time, right? If you travel at lower speed, you can actually reach town B in a bit longer time. I can just make a table here. Let's say this one is speed, this one is time. If your speed is, for example, let's say you are flying by plane, you're traveling by plane. If the speed of that plane is 240 kilometers, and how long does it take? It takes only 1 hour, right? In 1 hour, you'll reach your destination. And how about, let's say you are traveling by car, the speed of the average speed of the car is 120. How long does it take? It takes only 2 hours. And how about if you're taking some kind of taxi, for example, its speed is, let's say, 60 kilometers per hour. How long does it take? It takes 4 hours. And how about if you're riding a motorbike whose speed is 40, at the time it takes 6 hours. And if you walk, let's say your speed is 20, at the time it takes 12 hours. As you see here, in each case, their products, right? 240 times 1, and 120 times 2, and 60 times 4, and 40 times 6, and 20 times 12, right? And their products are the same. What is it? That's equal to 240. But what's happening here? The speed as it is actually decreasing here, right? And this time it is increasing, right? Because if you travel at higher speed, it takes less time. If you travel at lower speed, it takes more time. This is very good example for inverse proportion. So here we just say that then this S and T, they are inversely proportional to each other. Why? Because their product is constant number. And their product is constant number means when one increases, another decreases. Okay. So inverse proportion. Musa, can you read the first paragraph?
Inverse proportion is a relationship between two variables when their product is equal to a constant value. Once the value of one variable increases, the other decreases. The other decreases, so their product is unchanged. Unchanged.
Unchanged, right? Unchanged means it's constant, not changing, right? So if y is inversely proportional to x, then y2 over y1 equals x2 over x1. That means that their products are the same. Like in our previous example, t1 times s1 is equal to t2 times s2 or equals t3 times s3 dot dot. It continues. So we will talk about this kind of relationship. Actually, in real life, two things may be connected to each other in a lot of different ways. But here, we are just going to study one particular case. Okay, example for this. Isa, read it and we will do it together here.
Okay. 10 identical pipes can fill a tank in 4
Identical, right?
hours.
Identical.
Okay. How long will it take 8 of these pipes to fill the same tank?
Okay.
Tank
10 identical.
ident-
Identical means the same, right? Identical pipes can fill a tank in 4 hours. And here we have a kind of
One-
tank, right? And maybe it's just connected to some kind of pipes. Okay. Okay, here we have pipes. Now, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 8, number 9, number 10, and we have more, and they are exactly the same pipes. It says that at the same time, if you just open all of these pipes, it takes 4 hours. And how long will it take 8 of these pipes to fill the same tank? So here we have time and the number, right? So actually it takes 4 hours if we are using how many tanks?
10.
10. The question is, how about how long will it take 8 of these pipes to fill the same tank? How about if you open only 8 of them, right? How long does it take? Let's say it takes T hours. And as I say here, if we have more pipes, it takes less time. If we have less pipes, it takes more time. So this relationship specifies actually inverse proportion, right? From here, N1 times T1 should be equal to N2 times T2. What is N1 and T1? That is 4 times 10. That's equal to 8 times T, right? So what is T? Dot, dot, dot. 40 is divided by 8. That's equal to 5. That means that if you open only 8 of these pipes, it will actually, the pipes will fill in the tank in 5 hours. One simple example for inverse proportion. Musa, read the next question.
It takes 5 men to paint 2 identical houses in 3 days. Assuming that all the men work at the same rate, how long will it take 10 men to paint 8 of these houses?
Isa, can you solve this question? What do you think, Isa? Can you solve this question? Isa, your microphone is off.
I think the answer is 6 days.
6 days. Musa,
Yes.
what is your answer? This is
Hmm.
Isa's answer. Okay, let's just solve this together. Maybe we can do this because this is intensive math course. Okay, because first we should do some revision, and after that I will give you some tests. I mean, if you continue here, like every maybe 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to have tests, and depending on the result of your tests, it will make some adjustment to our progress. If everything is good, we will go a bit faster. If you are a bit weak, for example, I just slow down and solve more problems. Okay. You may not know, you may know this topic, but still, just we need to do some kind of revision. Also, you improve your vocabulary, and as you solve more and more problems, you also actually you'll have more, how to say, better and deeper intuition about the concepts. So here it takes 5 men to paint 2 identical houses in 3 days, right? So we are talking about here number of men, and here the second one is number of houses, and the third one is time. In the first case, if 5 men work together, right, they can paint 2 houses in 3 days. And what is the question? it says that how long will it take if 10 men work together to paint 8 of these houses? So here we have 8 houses, right? How many people are working here? 10 people are
And
working here. So we need to find the time here, right? Actually, just using the first line in different way I can solve this. Maybe I'll show you later. Okay, we just use unitary system here. Okay, first, when we have 10 people, 8 houses, how many days does it take? Let me just write here. Okay, here we have 5 people are working. Okay, if 5 people are working, if they paint 8 houses, how long does it take? Isa, look at the first line. The first line. If 5 people are working and they have to paint 8 houses, how long does it take?
20 days.
19
20.
or 12?
12. Yes, 12.
12, right? Because here 5 people, 2 houses, it takes 3 days, and 2 more houses, 3 more days, 2 more houses, 3 more days. So actually we should multiply by 4. So if 5 men work, they can paint 8 houses and 12. Now this 8 the same, right? Okay, now let me just fix this one, this 8 houses. How about if 10 people work together? How long does it take? Now, as you see here, if we have more people, right, actually it takes
6
less
days.
time. So
6
actually it
days.
takes 6 days. Okay, so if the how to say, these people work, it takes 6 days. All right. Okay, we talk about this. Now we have a few questions. Here again, once again, you should just be familiar with the vocabulary, and after that, the questions are standard questions, not challenging questions. Okay, and after the test, I will actually see how we should continue. Right now, I don't know your level. That's why we should start with some easy questions. Anyway, this actually in this course, this is our second chapter. In the first chapter, we talk about similarity and congruence. So if y is inversely proportional to x and y equals 3 when x equals 4. So usually when we just say that inversely proportional, we just write, I mean, using symbol like this. Y is inversely proportional to, what is it? 1 over x. How do we read this? It is read as y is inversely proportional to x. How about if we just write like this? We read it as y is directly proportional to x. This one is inversely proportional, and this one is directly proportional. So here in this question, y is inversely proportional to 1 over x. And what is the equation? We know that the equation is, in mid, I can just write here, y is equal to k over x. That is the equation of inverse proportion. And the question says that y equals 3 when x equals 4, right? So question A, we need to write the equation connecting x and y. Substituting these values into this equation, y equals 3 when x equals 4. Now from here, what is k? K is equal to 12. So now what is our equation? Our equation is this. Here we have 12 over x. That is how x and y are connected to each other. Okay? And how about B, the value of y when x equals 6? So when x equals 6, we need to find the value of y. Again, substitute into the equation, y is equal to 12 over, what is the value of x is equal to 6. So that's equal to 2. Dot, 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 y is equal to 2 when x equals 6. And how about C, the value of x when y equals 48, right? Using again this equation, so we need to find the value of x. So here we have 48 is equal to 12 over x. So from here, what is x? X equals 12 over 48, which is equal to 1 over 4. So the value of x is equal to 1 over 4 when x, the value of x equals 1 over 4 when y is equal to 48. All right. Musa, read the question Let me also see your English so that according to this, I will just my speaking.
Uh, Boyle's law states the volume V
Volume
volume V
V centimeters cubed or cubic
V
centimeters, the same thing.
of a fixed mass of a gas mm, at constant temperature is inversely proportional to its to its pressure, P units, given that the volume of a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature is 100 centimeters
1000.
1000 centimeters cube when uh, its pressure is 50 units. Find the volume of the gas when its pressure is 1000 1250
250 units. So Isa, you are joining this class with your iPhone.
Yes.
Musa, how about you?
I am from my PC.
Okay. Actually, with telephone, I don't think it's a good idea because the screen is small and you're just watching, and maybe this is your first class. To just have a look at this class, you can join like this. But if you're thinking a long term, if you're going to have class maybe like 1 month or 2 months, and if you don't have, we have no choice. But if you have, you need to join with the computer. Okay, you can see the big screen. Maybe to write a note, also you can join with your iPhone. Sometimes if you want to write something and show me, if you have a pen, you can do
Can I
this.
join
Okay.
this tablet?
Tablet. Okay. Because the screen should be big, because otherwise it's just small. I don't know, it's not so, it may be a bit boring for you after 1 or 2 classes, because this is a private class. This is not like class at your school. Okay, so we are having class maybe 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 maximum. We may have here 5 students maximum. So if you have any questions, you should feel free to ask anytime. If you feel bored or tired, you should stop, and you may have some kind of discussion together. Okay, in this way you can learn something just by watching. I mean, math lectures or classes, you cannot learn much. Okay, anyway guys, let's continue. Here in this question, Boyle, if you have ever heard about this guy, he is one of the great physicists. Okay, and also he discovered one law in nature. That's why actually it is credited to his name. Boyle's law states that the volume V centimeters cubed of a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature is inversely proportional to its pressure P units. What do you understand from this? For example, just take a car. A car has 4 wheels, right? Tires, right? In the tire, if you just put less air, for example, if you have some kind of air, it says fixed mass of gas, right? Right. For example, we have certain amount of air if you just pump into the tire, for example, and the same amount of, for example, air into a big truck's tire, for example. What do you think about the pressure? Pressure will be different, right? Because in our room, for example, let's say the whole, do you feel any pressure in your room now? You don't feel any pressure, right? Now, if you
Yeah.
take the whole air, put this in a small balloon, what will be the pressure in the balloon? It will be huge, right? If you just pinch it with a needle, it will explode, and you can see, you can hear very loud voice. It's something like this. Anyway, so V centimeter cube of fixed mass of gas at constant temperature is inversely proportional to its pressure. So what should we write here? Since inversely proportional, we have this relationship. Excuse me. And from here, what do we understand? That means that volume times
What's
pressure
it between
is
V
equal
and
to constant. Yes, Isa.
what's it between V and P1? Uh, like L.
No, this is one. This is how we write when V is inversely proportional to P.
No,
Okay,
I say that between V and P1.
this one.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it is a mathematical symbol
Oh,
for
okay.
we use for proportions, and also for geometry. Sometimes we use for similarity, like shape A is similar to shape B. It is something like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the symbol. So that's it. Okay, given that the volume of a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature is 1000, so let me just write here V1 equals 1000 cubic centimeters when its pressure is 50 units. When the pressure is 50 units. And find the volume of the gas. We need to find the volume of the gas, right? When its pressure is 1250. Okay. So if it is so, how about if the pressure is this much, what will be the volume of the gas? That means you're just squeezing. The pressure is too high means you're just squeezing a lot of things. You're just putting in a small container. Anyway, using our relationship, what we have here, we know that since these two things are inversely proportional to each other, we have V1 times V1, V1 times P1 is equal to V2 times P2. What is V1? 1000 times P1, it is 50. V2, I don't know. We are going to find this. P2, it is 1250. So from here, V2 equals the zeros, they cancel out each other. Here we have 5,000. Okay, let me just write 5,000 here over 125. And if you divide by 5, here we have 1,000. And here we have 25. Divide by 5, what is it? It is 40.
Okay.
So that is 40 centimeters cube. So that means that the volume of the gas will be 40 centimeters cube. That is very small, right? You're just putting a lot of air into small container. It's like a gas tube, right? It's a small gas tube, but the pressure inside is so high. Yeah, let's continue. Other forms of inverse proportions. We have a few things left. Um Before we continue, let me just give you a break. Okay, usually 1 hour. If I just talk constantly, it may be a bit tiring. Okay, guys, Isa and
The
Musa.
lesson is 1 hour.
Huh? Say again?
Lesson is 1 hour или two.
1 hour.
Okay.
1 hour, but during this time, we can have like 3 minute break to drink some water. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, 3 minutes break. After 3 minutes, we will continue.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Musa, how is your math at school? Are you the
Mm,
top student or
maybe I'm middle, but um, we are um, we are don't write any exams yet, but maybe in the December or January we will write.
okay? Isa, how about you?
I'm good at math, but I can't understand some things because I can't know English so good. I know English, but not so much in dialogue.
Okay. Uh, After all, English is just a language. If you want to improve your English, you need to read more problems. The more, maybe I can't say. Of course, we should read books, but as you solve more and more problems, when you listen the same thing again and again, you will actually improve this. Number one. Number two is at least when you just solve different questions every time, you learn something new word, new word, new word, and also in this way you will improve. But I don't know how is your English at school. Usually in private schools, if your teachers are native speakers or in what method used. Anyway, uh, maybe how much you understand here, you may not understand 100%. After the class, I will send you assignments. Also, you have to do this. During the doing assignment, you will see similar words again in the paper. And after that, maybe if you don't understand any question, you can bring to the class. We can discuss here. In this way, actually, when you just see something again and again, you can improve, right? This is how to say, it's a rule in life. Like, for example, if you want to improve in shooting in basketball, right? You have to shoot one time, it doesn't work. Two times, three times, four times. Also, your muscles get used to it. Then you can improve. If you are playing tennis, the same shot hit again and again and again. Every time you improve, right? The same thing for language. But just you need to keep
Yes.
practicing. If you practice, like now you don't understand one word. For example, let's say, what is it? Uh, what is it? Let's say proportional, for example. The second time you see this, the third time you see this. Now, even you don't know the meaning, for example, let's say, but you have some kind of feeling, right? You have some kind of intuition. You know where to use it. You know how to use it. Okay, that's why you need to practice. Anyway, guys, let's get back to our class. So now we will see some other forms of inverse proportions. Okay, I'm going to just say things are inverse proportional. What is the condition here? If that two things, x times y, their product is equal to constant number. If they are related to each other by this equation, then we say that x and y, they are inversely proportional to each other. So in this question, it says that for each of the following equations, states which two variables are inversely proportional to each other, and explain why. Let me just show you one example. Here, for example, by just doing manipulation, I can write it as y times x cubed is equal to 3, right? Here is something is multiplied by something, and their product is constant number. So what can I write here then? Then y is inversely proportional to what? X cubed. How do you read this? Y is inversely proportional to x cubed. Because here we have x cubed, not x. How about the second one? Here we have q times square root of p. On the right hand side, we have 3. So what is actually, what variable is inversely proportional to what variable here? So q is inversely proportional to square root of p. Guys, we don't read it as 1 over x cubed. We just read it as x cubed. We are saying that y is inversely proportional to x cubed, and this is how we write mathematically. And how about here? N cubed times m squared. On the right hand side, we have constant number, right? So by again using this definition, the product of two variables is constant, then they are inversely proportional to each other. From here, then n cubed is inversely proportional to m squared because their product is constant. How about in question D, y times x plus 2 is equal to 4. So that means the product of y and x plus 2 is constant. So y is inversely proportional to x plus 2. Musa, can you do the last question? What should I write here?
Y equal x. It means 1 equal x divided y.
So we can write it like this, right? Y
Right.
times 1 over x is equal to 1. Now from here, y is inversely proportional to 1 over x, because here we have 1 over x, product of that thing, and that thing is constant.
Yes.
Okay?
Mhm.
All right. All right. Isa, read the question. Let's say a few questions. 1, 2. Okay, 2 slides left. After that, we will do some revision and finish this chapter. Okay. Read the question.
If y is inversely
Why?
proportional
Why?
to
If y.
if y is inversely proportional to what's it?
Square root of x.
Yeah,
Square root of x.
x. And if
Y
neither y is
equals
6 when x is 4, find an equation
Fine.
connecting x and
y.
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 Yes.
So find an equation connecting x and y. It is in
X,
French,
x,
Russian, maybe Azerbaijan, you call this Y, but it is Y in English, right?
okay. If x is 4 and it's on this, how
Okay,
it is I.
first, let's just do this step by step in a systematic way. What is given here?
It's
Y
2,
is
it's 2.
inversely proportional to square root of x. How do you write this? Y
Yes.
is inversely proportional to square root of x, right? That means that y times square root of x, that's equal to k. Still, I don't know k here. So it says that if y equals 6, when x equals 4, and find an equation connecting x and y. So when y equals 6, x is equal to 4. From here, 6 times 2, that's equal to 12, that's equal to k. So what is our equation? Then dot, dot, dot. Our equation is y is equal to 12 over square root of x. That's the equation. B, calculate the value of y when x equals 16. When x equals 16, we need to find the value of y. Substitute into the equation, y equals 12 over square root of 16. And that's equal to 12 over 4. That's equal to 3. So dot, 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 y is equal to 3. And how about C? How about C? Calculate the value of x when y equals 4. So y equals 4 and 12 over square root of x. Now from here, square root of x is equal to 12 over 4. That's equal to 3. So what is x here from here? Isa, what is x?
X is 4.
4 or 9?
No, 9, x 9.
9, right? Because square root of 9 equals 3. So x is
Yes.
equal to 9. All right. Musa, would you like to read a bit louder?
In an experiment, a drug is added to two identical flasks, each containing the same amount of a certain bacterium.
Certain bacteria.
Certain bacterium. The drug is then allowed to react with the bacteria for various times
Various
in
times.
hour,
Various times.
various times in T hour.
Hours. T hours.
That the amount hour. It is found that the amount of bacteria left as unit mm, mm, mm,
Varies.
varies
Vary means change, right? Vary means change.
varies inversely as T minus 2 hours in one flask. In one flask, there were 6 units of bacteria left after 5 hours. Calculate the amount of units of bacteria left in another flask after 7 hours.
Okay, it's a long question, and but the solution is very simple. What's going on here? Maybe in a biology lab, you're doing some kind of experiments. Okay, we have two different bacteria. It says in an experiment, a drug is added to two identical flasks, each containing the same amount of a certain bacteria. So here we have two identical flasks. And also here we have the second one, right? And inside we have same amount of bacteria, some kind of bacteria here, and some kind of bacteria. and you have a kind of drug, and you are testing, does it work or not, and how well it works. So it says that the drug is then allowed to react with the bacteria for various times in T hours, right? So we are just adding some bacteria, and you are just keeping a watch, right? Because if you put the drug inside the bacteria, we are expecting that the drug should kill the bacteria. So it is found that the amount of bacteria left, not killed, S units. This is the amount of bacteria left, because if you put drug, some bacteria, they die, right? Varies inversely as T minus 2 hours. So that means that this S, right, varies inversely. That is 1 over T minus 2. Immediately, I can just write the equation. What is it? That means S times T minus 2. That's equal to constant K. That is our equation, right? And what is S? After T hours, not killed, not died, or live bacteria, or left in the flask. Okay. In one flask, there were 6 units of bacteria left after 5 hours. Okay. So calculate the amount of units of bacteria left in another flask after 7 hours. So what do you, first to answer this question, I can just write like this. Here we have S1 times T1 minus 2. And how about the second one? The same thing works. S2 times T2 minus 2. What is S1? S1, it says 6 units of bacteria left after 5 hours, right? So 6 units of bacteria left after 5 hours. 5 minus 2. And the question is, calculate the amount of units of bacteria left in another flask after 7 hours. That is S2 after 7 hours. So just we need to solve this. What is S2? S2 equals 5 minus 2. 3 times 6, 18 over 7 minus 2. That's equal to 5. So it's about 3.6. Actually, here we were expecting whole number, integer, but 3.6, maybe technical mistake in the question. So it's not so important. And that is the idea, how we are using math to solve this biology question. Okay?
Okay.
Isa, it's your turn. Read it.
If you focus on results, you will never change. If you focus on change, you will get results. Reject Dihon.
What do you understand? Now tell me, what do you understand from this quote?
If you do something and you're watching at these results, you can do something more. But if you watch something changeable, you can get results like that.
Musa, what do you think? What do you understand from this quote?
I think it means when you are focusing only on results, not only in changing, like if you want to maybe take $1,000 of something of exams, you will never see change. You will never change. You will do only this, and you will never change. You are stayed and at equal place. But if you focus on changes, if you focus on change, if you are up and up your level, you will get results.
Okay, very good. Very good. Just one simple example in lives. For example, sometimes if you do not understand a problem, okay, you should take something similar but simple one. Okay. And if you understand the simple thing, then we can understand the more complicated things. Like, for example, let's say after 2 months, you're going to sit for a very important exam in math, for example, and you are going to get the best result. Let's say 100 out of 100. Now you're just actually, how to say, dreaming, right? Okay, I'm going to study, I'm going to get 100. And after, if I get 100, I will be very popular at school, or I will go to another country, I will participate in the Olympiad. And you just keep thinking about the result now. But instead, okay, I'm going to sit for the exam. What should I do? So to do this one, I had to solve, okay, how many? Let's say 1,000 problems in 2 months. In 2 months, we have 60 days. So approximately every day, I had to solve about 18 or 20 questions. All right. So your job is today, did you solve 20 questions? Tomorrow, did you solve 20 questions? Okay. Instead of focusing on the result, now you have to focus on your daily result. What did you do today to get a good result, right? So at that time, actually, if you just bring these fundamentals together, solve more and more challenging questions, try to solve as many problems as possible. So even if you don't think about the result, your hard work will bring a good result. In real life, a lot of people, they just focus on the result. Okay, I'm going to get a good job after I graduate from the university, and I will get that much salary. With this salary, I will buy a car, I'll buy a, okay, to do this one, what are you doing today now, right? So if your today is good, tomorrow will be good. Your tomorrow is good, your future will be good. And I think this is what I understand from this uh, quote. If you want to have a good future, your today should be good. If your today is good, and we will have a good tomorrow. Anyway, Isa, Musa, thank you very much for your patience, okay, to join this class. All right. And I think you have some information about this class. Usually we have class on Monday, every Monday and Wednesday. In similar methods, I will teach. Sometimes I ask you questions, and if you have question, I try to answer. We have some discussion, and after each class, I will send assignment. We have a WhatsApp group that is SASMO grade 8. Okay, you have to solve those questions and submit it to me through WhatsApp. If you don't understand any question, you have to bring to the class, and this is our learning methods, okay? And I think you have some idea about how to do that. If you have any questions, you may ask now. Otherwise, I'm going to finish the class.
Not all of things is clear.
Okay. Isa, Musa, nice to meet you once again. Okay. I wish you good luck in your studies, and I hope maybe we will meet again.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
for listening. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.